Hello again and welcome to this second video about the global online business platform, Globp. Before starting this second video, I remind you that these videos are showing you a part, albeit an important one, of a system that is much more comprehensive. Our platform will not be global only because it can be used by all people and companies anywhere in the world, but also because aspects such as trade and finance will be handled on it, which encompasses practically all economic activity. Therefore, it is a matter of observing the potential of what we are explaining to you, and that you begin to think about everything you can do from a base. Well, let's get started. We have seen the first 3 ways to earn with distributed purchases. Do you remember? In the first place, we have the members of Globp who, through their exhibition of products, goods and services, have obtained remuneration for having obtained 100% financial support in their purchase proposal to the other members of Globp. In this case, they receive a remuneration of 3% of the price of the product, good or service that they promote. Secondly, we have the members whose product, good or service on display does not reach 100%, but does reach at least 20% participation or financial support, and in this case, takes 1% of the amount collected. And thirdly, we have the member who has obtained the long-awaited purchase voucher for the amount of the product, good or service for which they participate in a distributed purchase. But there are many more ways to earn from distributed purchases, and of course, many more winners in each of them. We are going to see them and observe how the different parts of the distributed purchasing system mesh together to generate wealth and distribute it progressively, because our system is based precisely on distributing wealth progressively. A system in which those who earn the most contribute the most, and the more they contribute, the more they earn and the more wealth they distribute. So let's look at more ways to earn with distributed purchases. Every time a user buys a share in a distributed purchase, depending on their economic investment, the system, together with the points they buy, gives them one or more numbers that allow them to participate in what we call jackpots generated by the system in each acquisition distributed. In other words, the greater the number of points that I buy to participate, the greater the number of participations in jackpots that the system grants me. If I buy the least number of points, I get 1 jackpot share. If I buy the number of points in between, I get 3 jackpots shares. And if I buy the most points, I get 7 jackpots shares. Therefore, even if a participant in a distributed purchase is not the winner of the purchase voucher for the amount of the product, good or service to which he chooses, he has the opportunity to be the winner of a jackpot. These jackpots are a form of internal lottery, the participation of which is not possible to buy directly, but, as I said, is generated when you bought participation points in the mutual purchase. The system generates 4 types of jackpot. The first type of jackpot is drawn every 2 weeks, the second type of jackpot is drawn every 4 weeks, the third type is drawn every 8 weeks, and the super jackpot Globp is drawn every 12 weeks. Initially there are a total of 365 jackpots to win every 12 weeks. The jackpots that are drawn every 2 weeks will contain hundreds and even thousands of dollars. The jackpots that are drawn every 4 weeks will contain thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars. The jackpots drawn every 8 weeks will contain hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the Globp super jackpot to be won every 12 weeks will contain millions of dollars. Well, the number of jackpots and their amount will grow depending on the participation of people in distributed purchases. The more people, the greater the number of jackpots that are generated, and the greater amount each of them will contain. Remember that we have said that this participation in jackpots cannot be purchased directly. It is a gift that the system makes when a participant makes a purchase of points to participate in a distributed purchase. In other words, they are not another way of being able to win in a distributed purchase without having to be the winner of the purchase voucher. Therefore, winning a jackpot can be a much bigger win than winning a voucher. Now, a participant in a distributed purchase can win the purchase voucher and the jackpot. One thing is not at odds with the other. This is understood, right? Well, in the previous video we have seen that after having participated in a distributed purchase, the 21 best classified among all the participants became part of a list that all the participants had to vote on. Do you remember? We had also said that only one of them was the winner of the purchase voucher, having obtained the highest number of points in said vote. But what about the remaining 20 contestants that are on that list? Well, since they have reached the final, they are not going to leave empty-handed, no, not at all. They are going to leave with a gift of great value, of much more value than the money they have invested, and you will see why. The 20 finalists, who have not obtained the purchase voucher at the end of a distributed purchase, receive back the refund of double the points they have purchased in their participation in the distributed purchase. That is, if, for example, a participant bought 100 participation points in a distributed purchase and is one of the 20 non-winning finalists of the purchase voucher, the system will return 200 points. These points are a great gain for a participant, first because they initially earn twice what they invested, even if said gain would only serve to participate in a new distributed purchase. But the points have particularities that make them much more valuable than the refund of the money. In addition, these points can mean cash for them. But hey, we'll see in a moment. Before going on to consider what the points are and how they are used, it must be said that there are other people who will receive the reimbursement of their participation, and also with points. Who are these people? When a participant buys their participation points in a distributed purchase, the system, in addition to granting them one or several numbers to participate in the jackpots that we have mentioned before, will also grant a refund number. This number is between 0 and 9. In the case of having the refund number, the participant will receive back the number of participation points that he has purchased. That is, 1 out of 10 participants will receive a refund of the points that she has purchased through Globp points. This reimbursement, therefore, does not reimburse the amount invested, but is reimbursed to the member in the form of points so that, like the 20 finalists on the voting list, they can use them in a new distributed purchase. What are the points for and what are they? These points have the particularity of allowing the purchase of participation points for a greater amount than those originally purchased, also buying at half price. In reality, the points give those who have them greater purchasing power within the system. We could say that they are an internal currency in Globp. Yes, you're listening right. Globp's distributed purchasing system is so powerful that it is capable of creating its own currency for internal use in the purchase of products, goods and services. You will see how this is so, and, in the following example, I am going to show you how Globp points are used, which from now on we will call GB coins, and why it is much more than a simple refund. From this moment on, a new dimension that you did not know about this project will open up to you. Pay close attention. Let's take the example of a distributed purchase of a low amount, so you can see how GB coins are, by themselves, a huge profit for those who obtain them. Let's say that I have participated in a distributed purchase of a product, good or service whose minimum purchase price is $10. Let's say I've entered for a laptop whose market price is $1,000. At the time of purchase, the system gives me a refund number. If my withdrawal number is awarded, I will receive back, not the 10 cents that I have invested, but the 100 points that I have purchased in the form of GB coins. Since the system offers me a refund number along with my purchase, if my refund is awarded, I will receive back, not the 10 cents I have invested, but 100 GB coins. That is, the points that I have bought in the form of GB coins. Now, I can use these GB coins participating in one or more distributed purchases, the ones I want, using my GB coins. Let's see how to use them in the participation of another distributed counter, so that they suppose an increase in my purchasing power. For example, in the distributed purchase of this house whose value is $1,400,000. Notice that the number of points to buy remains the same, 100, 250 and 600 points. What has changed is the purchase price of said points. Remember, I had bought 100 participation points for 10 cents, now those 100 points, having been converted into 100 GB coins, have the value that I want to give them based on the mutual purchase in which I participate. You are going to see it now. How can I use my 100 GB coins, which I have received as a refund, to be able to buy participation points in the purchase of this house? I just have to take into account that in order to use them I have to have half of the points that I want to buy in the form of GB coins. I can pay 50% of the purchase amount with GB coins and the other 50% with dollars. Let's continue with the example, taking into account what we have just explained. I wish to participate in the distributed purchase of this property valued at $1,400,000 by purchasing 100 participation points. The purchase of participation points is for the amount of $80, of which I can use 50 GB coins to pay half of said amount. So buying 100 participation points costs me $40 instead of $80 if I didn't have GB coins. At this moment, the 10 cents that I initially invested in the purchase of the laptop have become $40, that is, I have multiplied my 10 cents by 400 times its value. Or what is the same, I have just revalued my 10 cents by 40,000%. This encourages the participants in distributed purchases to increasingly participate in purchases of greater value, because it is the way they can make the most of their GB coins. I have used half of my GB coins, but I still have another 50 with which I can buy another 100 points in another distributed purchase, because I have half of those points in GB coins. Now, if I participate in the distributed purchase of, let's say, a yacht whose price is $3 million. 100 participation points cost $160, using my remaining 50 GB coins, I would only pay $80 instead of $160. By doing this, my 10 cents have now multiplied by 800 times their value, or what is the same, I get a return of 80,000%. If we do the math, between the two uses of my 100 GB coins, which we remember, I have obtained after receiving the refund of my investment of 10 cents in the distributed purchase of a laptop, my total return is 120,000% of its initial value. I have multiplied the value of my 10 cents by 1,200 times its value. Or what is the same, I have been able to transform 10 cents into $120. Do you know of any business, bank or investment, be it stocks, cryptocurrencies, oil, gold, or any other commodity that offers a similar return and in such a short space of time? Well, you could tell me that you don't know how we got here, but you do, because you've been seeing it, step by step, until you got here. Everything explained in the previous video, and in what we have in this video, show you the way to this profitability. Now you have to see, you have to analyze what I am explaining to you and thus understand the implications that this will have for the users of the Globp platform. If you have reasoned like this, well, this profitability, in reality, I will not have obtained it in money. But yes, the money was obtained, because otherwise, to participate in the distributed purchases of either of the two examples mentioned, you would have to pay the total in dollars, that is, double what you have paid if you do not have GB coins. But above all, remember that when you participate in distributed purchasing, you do it to win, to earn more than you invest. But this is not all I can do with my GB coins. My GB coins I can convert to dollars, if that's what I want. So, let's take a look at how to convert my GB coins into cash. At Globp, any member who has 1 GB coins will be able to offer them to the other members of the platform at the price they wish to obtain for them. In my back office I will have an interface similar to the one you are seeing, which will allow you to make a sales offer to the other platform members. As you can see, the system reports the balance of GB coins that you have and the option to put them up for sale. Also note that you decide how many you are going to offer and the price for which you want to sell them. The system will offer you a guide to the prices that are handled in real time. It shows you the highest and lowest selling price of GB coins in dollars by other sellers. Between the highest price and the lowest, there are many more. Each has indicated the price for which they initially wish to sell. Something different will be that someone buys them. In any case, the system will indicate these prices so that you can decide the price for which you want to sell yours. It is up to you, as a seller, to say, Sure, the cheapest GB coins will sell the fastest, but once the cheapest is sold out, the lowest prices will be the immediately highest. At least they will be for a few minutes or seconds. Because there will always be another new seller of GB coins that is going to offer them, namely for a price lower than the one that appears as the lowest. Therefore, you can offer them at the price in dollars you want, and if you notice that you do not sell at that price, the system will always allow you to offer them at another price. Therefore, it will depend on you, as a seller, the price that you are going to put on your GB coins based on what you expect to obtain and the time you are willing to wait to sell. Then you enter the number of GB coins that you are going to put up for sale. In this case we are going to put 200, you indicate the price for which you are going to sell them, let's say 20 cents of a dollar. This means that your 200 GB coins you intend to sell for $40. The system asks you to indicate if you give the possibility to negotiate the price or not. You click yes, because this allows you to expedite the sale, and also asks you to indicate if you sell all of your GB coins or give the buyer the possibility of a smaller amount. We are going to indicate yes in negotiated quantity. Once I have indicated these data to the system, I just have to click on Publish Offer and it will be consultable with other users interested in buying GB coins. Now let's look at the buyer's part. When a member wishes to purchase GB coins, they will have the purchase option in their back office. The system will present you with a screen from which you can carry out a search as close as possible to your wishes, that is, the price you are willing to pay, the number of GB coins you wish to buy. Let's look at the example of before the purchase of participation points in the house, whose price is $1,400,000. Remember that to buy using GB coins I must have half of the points I want to buy in GB coins. So if I want to buy 600 points, I need 300 GB coins. To make the purchase, I have to calculate the price of the point to know the price at which the purchase of GB coins is profitable. The price is calculated by dividing the number of points I want to buy by their purchase price. Thus, in this case, for 600 points I must invest $320. That means that the price of the point is 0.53 cents on the dollar. Now, I know that I must buy GB coins for a price lower than 0.53 cents of the dollar in order for this purchase to be profitable. I have to pay less than $160 for the purchase of the 300 GB coins. I go to my back office to the purchase section of GB coins, and I will try to buy them for the cheapest amount possible so that my participation in the distributed purchase of this house is as cheap as possible. In any case, at a price of less than 0.53 cents. What I am going to do is ask the system to indicate the vendors that are closest to my purchase criteria, and for this I enter two search parameters. The quantity I want to buy and the price at which I want to buy each GB coin, that is, the price per unit. Although the system informs me of the highest and lowest price, I can indicate the price that suits me best, that is, lower than the lowest price, for example. As there will be no one selling at that price, my request to the system will be stored in a database that can be consulted by all sellers, who will be able to make offers to me. Everything will depend on how long I am willing to wait. Okay, I am going to indicate that I want to buy 300 GB coins and that the price is 20 cents per unit, which is the lowest price that the system indicates. Remember that the purchase of GB coins has the purpose of increasing my purchasing power. In this way, I am going to try to save 33 cents per unit in the purchase of the 300 participation points in the distributed purchase of this house. I click on Show Availability, and I will be shown a list with the closest GB coin offers to my purchase parameters, both in price and in number of GB coins available. In this case, the lowest price indicated by the system, 20 cents, there is a seller, he has 600 GB coins, many more than I want to buy. The problem is that he sells all of it. I don't have that much money for that amount of GB coins, so I won't be able to buy. The next price is 22 cents, but you only have 25 GB coins. I could buy them, but I prefer to do a single transaction. The next price is 23 cents. It has 400 GB coins and allows me to buy as many as I want. This third seller is more in line with my purchasing parameters. It even indicates that the price is negotiable. You could make an offer at 0.20 cents per unit, but for this example we are not going to negotiate. I click on this purchase option, and I am presented with an interface to carry out the transaction. As we can see, I am offered the data to make the purchase. The sale price is already set by default, and since I can buy the GB coins I want out of the 400 that this seller has available, I just have to indicate how many I want to buy. I indicate that I want to buy 300 GB coins, and since I am not going to negotiate the price, I left the rest blank. I click on validate. The system checks that my account has enough balance to make the purchase and, if so, makes the transaction, transfers the money from my account to the seller's account and the GB coins from the seller's account to mine. Well, we are not going to see this transaction, because this is not the purpose of this video, but that you observe how business is generated in Globp from the participation of members in distributed purchases. Well, I bought the 300 GB coins at 23 cents per unit, which means that they cost me $69. And what has happened is that, since 300 participation points in this distributed purchase cost $160, I have been able to buy them for only $69, or what is the same, I have transformed my $69 into $160. So I'm interested in buying GB coins? Of course, as long as you buy them at a price lower than the point price. In this case I have saved $91 and opted for a purchase voucher for $1,400,000. Let's go back to the member who has won 100 GB coins refund after participating in a distributed purchase of a laptop, in which he has invested 10 cents. Let's say that this member has recently started on Globp and doesn't have much money to participate in much larger mutual purchases, so he decides not to keep the GB coins and puts them on sale at 20 cents each. 100 GB coins at 20 cents means $20 of profit. That is, he has transformed his 10 cents into $20, with a net profit of $19.90. Which supposes a return of 20,000% of his investment. Now, this would be the case that, having participated in a single distributed purchase, he would have won the refund on that first occasion. But let's remember that there are 10 refund numbers that go from 0 to 9, therefore, there is a 1 out of 10 chance that participating in a distributed purchase you will get said refund. Let's look at this possibility. If you participate 10 times by buying 100 points for 10 cents on the dollar, your total investment will be $1. If 1 out of 10 times you get a refund getting 100 GB coins and you sell them for 20 cents each, you will have netted $19. But let's make it more difficult. Let's say only 1 out of 20 times you win a refund. In this case, your investment will be $2 and your profit will be $18 net. How many times will you need to participate in a distributed buyout to earn daily, for example, say $180, if you only get one refund for every 20 participations? Well, buying the minimum number of points, that is, 100 points investing 10 cents, you will need to participate in 200 distributed purchases, which represents a total investment of $20. You will have obtained 10 refunds of 100 GB coins, or what is the same 1000 GB coins that if you sell at 20 cents would generate $200 gross, to which you have to deduct the $20 invested, obtaining a net profit of $180. In addition, in each participation you will have had options to win the purchase voucher and you will have been given participation in the different types of jackpots. It will also have improved its profile by participating in distributed purchases, and improving the profile means obtaining more support in the financing of its products, goods and services on display, which translates into a greater possibility of income from the concept of exhibition of products, goods and services, which we have talked about extensively in the previous video. In addition, the system will have awarded points to your profile in the criteria of participation in distributed purchases, which increases your chances of being one of the 21 finalists included in the voting list. That is, participating in distributed purchases increases your chances of earning income in various ways. But participating in 200 distributed purchases takes a lot of time, at an average of a minimum of 5 minutes per participation, especially if you participate in the platform's bets to increase the number of profile points in a distributed purchase. We would be talking about dedicating daily 17 hours. Now, if instead of participating by buying the least number of points, you participate by buying the average number of points, that is, 250 points, your investment would be 20 cents, but every time you get the refund you will get 250 GB coins. So by participating in 80 distributed purchases, you would get the same amount of GB coins. Your financial investment will have been $16 instead of $20, so your net earnings will be $184 instead of $180. Also, the time you have spent is 6 hours instead of 17. As you progress financially, your investments in distributed purchases can level up, investing more in the purchase of participation points and generating more income as a return on your investment in less time. That is, the greater the economic investment, the greater the leverage of time and money. Therefore, it is understood that anyone, even with very little money, can start generating income in Globp by participating in distributed purchases. You would earn money whether or not you win a voucher. You just have to understand how the system works and use the most appropriate investment strategy at all times. We observe, then, that participating in distributed purchases, far from being an expense, is an investment that generates income for the participants, because Globp, through distributed purchases, allows true leverage of time and money when used intelligently. All these transactions, such as the participation in distributed purchases, the voting of the finalist list in a distributed purchase, the granting of withdrawals and numbers of participation in jackpots, the purchase and sale of GB coins, will be guaranteed by blockchain technology, which allows all transactions to be secure and without possible alteration in their results, in addition to its immutable conservation and its public consultation. However, are GB coins tokens or cryptocurrencies? Definitely not. Remember that they are points generated by the system, which we use as an internal currency on the Globp platform, but which cannot be used outside of said platform. GB coins are issued by the Globp platform system when a smart contract, associated with a distributed purchase, is executed. Once the GB coins are used in a distributed purchase, these GB coins are not reusable but are deleted by the system. But, Globp has issued its own token, the GBP token. The GBP token is a utility token. This token can be used in our platform, both to make the payment of memberships and to pay participation points in distributed purchases. The GBP token has been issued at a fixed price of $1 per token. Since it is a utility token, all GBP token holders will be able to pay for their membership with tokens, whose value on the platform is $10. How is this? As you will remember, access to the Globp platform is done by paying for one of the possible memberships, gold, silver and bronze. You will also remember that the cost of each of these memberships is $30, $20 and $10 respectively. Well, those memberships paid with tokens will cost you 3, 2 or 1 token respectively. For example, the gold membership, instead of costing you $30, will cost you 3 tokens, that is, $3. Saving nothing more and nothing less than $27. But you can also use the tokens in distributed purchases. So, you can use your tokens in Globp with an immediate revaluation as soon as the platform is operational, or you can save them and sell them later waiting for their price to increase. Can you expect that to happen? Given that a series of tokens limited to 6 million are issued, and given that Globp has been designed to be used by more users than the social networks themselves, its value is susceptible to increase due to the law of supply and demand. In any case, buying GBP tokens will be a profitable investment for the mere use of the token on the Globp. Buying GBP tokens today, you will be making a profitable investment from the first moment. More importantly, by buying GBP tokens, you will be helping us to make this important technological project a reality, whose social function will allow millions of people to generate income from the comfort of their home, promote local commerce, allowing small merchants to carry out their businesses without fear of competition from the technological giants of e-commerce. You will be helping our streets and neighborhoods, those commercial premises, now empty, to be filled with life again, allowing a fundamental economic base of the country's economy, small businesses, which is disappearing, preventing millions of people from around the world are left without a job or without a business. You will be helping to change the advertising model that the big technology companies use to profit themselves. For a model that feeds back to everyone, both the advertisers themselves and the public receiving the advertising, just as we understand it should be. In short, you will be contributing to a better world, through a global platform in which it does not make social distinctions, but offers equal opportunities for all, regardless of their age, economic level, sex, race, belief, and even level of studies carried out. Because our system teaches all its members from scratch. Because, suddenly, millions of people will not simply be able to telework, but do business based on commercial activity, making investments from our platform without having to have a large amount of capital, as we have shown you. In addition, our business model has been designed to alleviate the detrimental effects of automation and robotization, which is already causing the loss of many jobs and the disappearance of many professions. But in the coming years, the exponential growth of robotization together with artificial intelligence will cause the replacement of millions of people along with the suppression of their jobs around the world. Most people are still skeptical, believing that this will never happen. But the truth is that automation and robotization increases exponentially due to the unstoppable advancement of technology and the greater capacity of computers, which doubles approximately every 2 years, as stated by Moore's law, and soon we will end the era of quantum computing that, applied to artificial intelligence, will make robots able to perform any type of task, any one. What is happening is exponential change, and it may come much sooner than we think. Proof of this is what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic, which significantly accelerated automation and digitization around the world. The digitization of businesses that was expected for 2025 was brought forward to 2020, and many of these changes are permanent. Just look around you and see how digital technology and robots are entering our lives without us even noticing. But although fast, the change will not come in a way that you can perceive it, but the change is already taking place before your eyes. You are already getting used to it and you are even becoming dependent on digital technology without hardly realizing it, so it is leaving people unable to react. It's like the frog that jumps if you put it in a pot of boiling water but stays put if you cook it slowly. So the question is not if a robot is going to be able to do your job better than you, the question is, when is that going to happen? What will we do when machines do everything better than the humans? Yes, absolutely everything. If we don't work, how are we going to generate income to be able to live? Will we depend on the government to survive with state subsidies? On the other hand, companies that automate their tasks will continue to produce products and goods, or offer their services to human beings, because machines have no needs, wants, or desires. To whom are companies going to sell their products or services if people do not have enough income to be able to buy what they produce because they do not have a job? Have you asked yourself these questions? At Globp, we've done it. We have thought about all these things to create an economic model that prevents reaching this situation by providing the solution to all these problems, making technology itself work for the benefit of all. We understand that the current social pact between workers and employers has to evolve as technology evolves and allows for other models of obtaining income than the traditional one. Each Globp member will be an entrepreneur who, if they wish, will not need a job to generate income, and who will be able to do so by starting exactly the same way as any other member on the platform, having the same opportunity, starting from the same starting point, as we have shown you in this series of videos. But Globp is aware of the importance of people, which is why it financially encourages the sponsorship of other members and the construction of its own business network in the system, based on said sponsorship. It is not necessary for a member to carry out this work, but his income will increase significantly by doing so because he will earn from said network for another 18 compensation concepts associated with said sponsorship. Thus, each time a member of your network wins on Globp, he will receive a percentage of said earnings. Therefore, the greater the number of existing members in your network, your earning potential will increase exponentially. The maximum number of members that a user's network can have is 111,110 members. Upon reaching that number of members in your network, only for the concept of membership payments, your income, every 3 months, can exceed $600,000. In any case, all Globp members will have a sponsor, without whom access to this, let's say private club, cannot be done. This sponsor is awarded in 2 ways. By invitation to another person by using the member's personal link. By designation of the system in case of registration of a person on the platform without a sponsor. Why does Globp establish this sponsorship system for all members without exception? Globp is a network-based business system. As members register, they enter a network. Each member develops their own network, and said network works in a supportive and collaborative manner, in such a way that when one of the members of the network benefits financially, all the members of said network benefit. In addition, the networks are interconnected with each other, forming a large, single, gigantic network. The member's profile allows Globp to establish to what extent a member benefits from its network, so these benefits will be directly proportional to their degree of involvement in the platform. It is a fair and equitable distribution system that rewards members based on their own collaboration and solidarity with the other members of the platform. In such a way that when, for example, you participate in the distributed purchase proposals of other members, you keep in mind that the others are participating in yours or in that of the members of your network, which benefits you financially. Now, until Globp, the big problem with creating a network is that people don't like to sell, but also, people don't like someone trying to sell them something. We agree, right? So, what is the difference in Globp? The difference is that we have removed from the equation the concept of selling products, goods or services in order to earn money. We have turned everything around, and as we have explained, Globp will allow economic income for doing what the vast majority of people like to do the most, that is, buy. Or is it that you don't like it? Well, we achieve that by participating in distributed purchases, which are, as we have seen, investments of money through which to obtain high profitability. We hope to attract millions of people in a variety of ways, including through the sponsorship work of Globp members. We are proud to present a project that not only has great potential for financial success, but will also have a positive impact on society internationally. We hope you share our vision and join us in this exciting venture. We are at your disposal to clarify any question not mentioned in this presentation. Do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much for your attention and the time you have dedicated to us.